this is my first story time, so I'm really trying to explain it in a way that y'all will understand. But what's up, y'all? It's Yanni. I'm back in another video. Today's video is going to be the story time about my first fight, in my perspective, my point of view. If you guys haven't watched Soleil's video, make sure y'all go watch her video, because her point of the fight is way different than mine. Speaking that the boy who all of this started from, that was her boyfriend at the time, so her role was a little bit different than mine. Sharing my side of it. Okay, let me see how I can start it off. So this all happened in one night. It was no build up to it really. It was just one night. It just got crazy. So we was at our dad's house, and mind you, y'all, this is the summer of 2020. So the friend group that all of this is like about, we had just met them that year. Probably like, this happened in June. We probably met them in like the end of April. Us being a friend group that had like just started. The boys in this story, we been knew them. Like me and Soleil knew them for like, I don't know, maybe like a year or two before this. Yeah, it had to be a year or two, because I used to date one of their friends. So yeah, we knew them for like a year or two before this fight even happened. So it was this one night, we at our dad's house, and we was just like, we so bored, like we don't know what to do. It was me, Soleil, and I'm gonna call our best friend Bestie. I don't know who I'm talking about though, but I'm gonna just call her Bestie. So it's me, Soleil, Bestie, and I cannot remember if one of the other girls was there. We was close with one of the girls a little bit more than the other girls at that time, so I'm not sure if she was at our dad's house or if she met us at the boy house, but I know for a fact that it was me, Soleil, and Bestie. So we sitting there, and we just so bored or whatever. So one of the boys in our friend group, out of the boys, like it was two of them that lived right up the street from each other. And I'm gonna call the boy house who we always used to go to. So they call him Chain, so I'm gonna call him Chain. So we always used to go to Chain house when there was kickback parties, just us to hang out. We would just spend weeks on weeks in the summer just over their house, like over Chain's house. And that's how we met all the other boys, all his other friends. So yeah, you know, whatever. So out of the boys, they was close. They had known each other for like, so they was like, I don't know, like 9 or 10. So the boyfriend group, they was like solid. They was like family size. But we just all happened just to, you know, connect and become friends. Because at the time, it was more like we was friends because half of our group was dating half their group. So it just kind of, we was just kind of always together, because, oh, this is my boyfriend, blah, blah, blah. But the rest of them, they would call us brothers and sisters. One of the boys out of there, I'm not going to give him a name because he wasn't really like the main person in this. It's just we went over to his house that night. So we get to his house, and I think I have videos from that night, which I'm going to put them on the screen. We was playing basketball at his house, just really just chilling. At the time, it was just me, Soleil, Bestie, and the other girl down at his house. The rest of the girls was at Chain's house. Like I said, it was a walking distance. Like his house right here, you walk this way, and his house was like in a cul-de-sac. So it was so super close. So the plan was we was gonna go to his house, play basketball for a while. Then we just gonna all go to Chain house and maybe like, you know, chill, spend the night there, and then just go back to my dad's house in the morning. Because I think we had told our dad that we was going to our best friend house, because we're just so bored here, we're just gonna go to Bestie house. So he was like, okay, fine. We did not go to Bestie house. We went to hang out with Chain them and the rest of our friends. But Chain house was like 10 minutes from my dad's house, so it wasn't really far. That's how we was always over there. So we get there, we playing for like, we outside playing basketball for about 2 or 3 hours. I can't remember what time it was at this time, but it was definitely like in the middle of the night. So all of a sudden, we sitting there, we chilling, we playing. One of the girls, I can't remember if it was my best friend or the other girl that we was with, but one of them get a call from Soleil's boyfriend at the time, which is friends with all of us, friends with the boys too. I'm gonna call him, Soleil called him Roddy, so I'm gonna call him Roddy. So we get a call from Roddy, and at the time, Roddy is at the gas station right outside the neighborhood. It's a QT. Roddy is at the gas station with two of the other boys. I think the only people that was really at Chain house was Chain, and then one of our other friends, and then the rest of the girls. The rest of them had walked up to the store. So Roddy called and he like, don't mind my name. Roddy called and he like, yo, we just got into it with some girls at the gas station. Like, she was talking all this rah-rah mess, blah, blah, blah. And basically, she want to fight. So, I guess the call was to inform us that, you know, we was going to have to fight because these girls wanted to fight. And, of course, Roddy wasn't going to fight the girl. But I think they knew each other. I don't think it was like some random girl, you know, just starting stuff. I noticed at the time, but one of the other boys, the girl who pushed up on Roddy, her friend group, one of the guys, his girlfriend was a part of her friend group. Basically, we fought this boy, girlfriend, friends. Y'all make, like, stay with me. Stay with me. So anyways, so we like, okay. So around this time, we hang up the phone with Roddy. And we walking back up the chain house so we could tell the other girls. Which I don't know if we was the first people he called, but I'm sure he called them too. Because when we got up there, they was like, okay, it was just like we already know, like, what y'all want to do. You gotta handle our business. Cause of course we wasn't just gonna let him, you know, fight that battle alone. We was all like family. So we like, okay, of course, lay. So lay on one hand because Roddy was her boyfriend. So of course, you know, some random girl done pushed up on my boyfriend. Of course I'm gonna be like, okay, what you trying to do? So Soleil calling Roddy. At this point, nobody can get in touch with Roddy. So we thinking they on their way back from the store. Me, personally, I was like, it's about 3 girls out of our friend group. They like the fighters. If anybody gonna fight, they gonna be the first one to pop off. They gonna be the first ones, you know, to get out there. And my best friend Sue, she was more like on the subtle side. But if it had to be out of 3, me, Soleil, and my best friend, to really like be like, what you trying to do, is gonna be Soleil. The one who actually gonna run up first is gonna be my best friend. And then me, I'm not the peacemaker, but I'm like, if I got to, I'm gonna get out there. At this point, Roddy and the other 2 boys had came back, so we all like standing outside. I like, okay, what we gonna do? So our friend group, it had to be about 15 of us in just our immediate friend group. But we had other people that was also our friends. So at this time, one of the main, no, my nail just broke off. One of the main girls called her other friends and was like, we finna fight. I think the boys called 2 more other boys and was like, we finna fight or whatever. So I guess the plan was that the girls was gonna meet us at the top of Chain's neighborhood. I'm guessing they didn't live far. They was gonna meet us at the top of Chain neighborhood. So we are like, okay, we just gonna walk to the neighborhood. We're gonna walk to the front of the neighborhood and see what they trying to do. So me at the time, I'm not scared because at this point, I'm not thinking I'm gonna have to fight. Cause we got 2 girls that's like, oh, they gonna fight regardless. He didn't make it seem like it was more than like 2 of them in a gas station. So all of us wouldn't have had to fight if it was just 2 of them. You know, I'm not thinking at the time I'm having to fight, but I did call my boyfriend at the time. At the time, the boyfriend that I had wasn't friends with my friend group. Later on, I had introduced them to each other, but at this point, he didn't know them. But he did know where I was. Like, I had talked to him earlier that night. So I'm calling him. I'm like, babe, I'm finna get into a fight. I don't know the girls. Like, because I didn't know the girls. And I could tell he was kind of getting, like, irritated, like, mad at me because I didn't know who I was going to fight. And he wanted to know. Because at the time, my boyfriend was, that boyfriend that I had at the time, which y'all know who I'm talking about, is the boy that I popped out with on my Instagram. At the time, he was like a real ride for me type. Oh, somebody messing with you, I'm on that type. So he was kind of irritated because I didn't know who I was finna fight. I'm really just if I was gonna fight, it was gonna be from association. I know Soleil gonna feel like she had to fight because that's her boyfriend. So I'm like, okay, if I gotta fight, I gotta fight. So I called him, I told him, I was just like, we're gonna go to the top of the neighborhood now. I'm gonna call you if something pop off, or I'm gonna call you afterwards. He's like, okay, I guess, cool. So we get ready to walk up to the top of the neighborhood, and I'm just finna explain my mind walking up to the neighborhood. The walk wasn't that bad. It was about 5 minutes. Like I said, it's like 15 of us walking to the top of the neighborhood. So I'm walking. I'm not in the back walking, but I'm just kind of just in my own little bubble. Because I was scared. Like, not scared, but I'm like, I'm gonna really have to fight. Like, this is my first fight. Like, I was really in my head this whole walk. I'm like, dang, I'm gonna really have to fight. Like, can I fight? I don't even know if I could fight. I know I get mad. I know I can get super mad. But actually fighting, I never done it. So I'm like, okay, I'm just thinking. And the boys out the friend group, I could tell in that moment they was kind of doubting me and Soleil. We was the smallest out of our friend group. If it was gonna be anybody, it was gonna be those 2 girls and maybe they other friend. And it was about 3 girls that they knew was gonna fight. So I could tell they didn't really have confidence in me and Soleil. So the whole time we getting closer to the top of the neighborhood, I'm thinking in my head, and I feel like this is why I was overthinking so much. I'm thinking like, as soon as we hit the top of the neighborhood, we're gonna have to fight. Like, it's not gonna be no chill time. It's not gonna be no nothing. As soon as we get to the top of the neighborhood, it's gonna be on. So I'm guessing they thinking that too, because we get closer to the top of the neighborhood and they like, I'm gonna give a girl, the two girls a name. It's gonna be named Georgia, and the other name, I'm gonna name her Tree, I guess. I don't really know. Don't take it no type of way. These just names I'm coming up with. So Tree, she was the real fighter out of the friend group. Her best friend was Georgia. So of course they was like, you know, if they gonna fight, they gonna fight. They was the fighters of the group. So we get to the top of the neighborhood and the boys, they like, all right, Tree and Georgia, y'all get to the front. Y'all get to the front. As in like, they didn't really have confidence that nobody else was gonna really get out there. At this point, I gotta fight. Like, I gotta get out there because they doubted me. Like, what if I lose? I don't know the girls, so what if they know me and Soleil? You know, at this time we was still on Instagram, still had 1 million followers, all of that. So I was like, I don't know if nobody gonna be recording, so I can't go out that if I just don't fight. I can't do that. To this day, y'all, I don't know who I fought. I don't know the girl. The only person out of that friend group I know, one of my friends, that was his girlfriend and her friends. So I only knew his girlfriend, which she didn't help none of her friends, so I don't know about none of that. To the top of the neighborhood, Roddy trying to call the girls, like, where y'all at? Because we was up there for like maybe 5 minutes and nobody was there. So we like, where y'all at? We at the top of the neighborhood. Like, y'all said y'all was gonna be here, so like, what's up? So she changed it and she like, oh nah, y'all gonna have to come to us. So in our 14-15-year-old mind, we was like, okay, cool, we gonna go to them. We gonna go to somebody else's house and potentially they can do whatever because we on their property. Not thinking that wasn't smart. That's what Chain Dad told us later. We was like, okay, so we're gonna have to go to them. Mind you, none of us have cars. None of us have cars. But people outside of our friend group that was friends with all of us, they had cars. So Chain called up, I think, 2 other boys. And they both rode separately, so that was 2 cars. And I think one of our girlfriends, called up one of our outside friends, and she had a car. So it was 3 cars. So we was 3 cars deep. So it took them about, everybody lived in the same area, so it took them about maybe 5 more minutes to get there. So they pull up, and we like, okay, cool. Everybody finna just get in the car. Everybody just packed in the car. Here they go, doubting me and Soleil again. They was like, okay, Tree, Georgia, and I think they said one other girl. Y'all get in the car with us. And with us meaning Roddy, the main boy who got into it with the girls, Chain, and like 2 of Chain homeboys. So they like, y'all get in the car with us because y'all, they thinking like, okay, we gonna get there first. Y'all gonna pop it off first. Boom. So I wasn't riding in the car with Soleil. I actually got in the 3rd car. I think Soleil got in the 2nd car. I think she was riding with Roddy. Yeah, I think she was riding with Roddy. At the time, Tree went with Chain. They was dating each other. So I think she rode with him and her best friend rode with her. And I think Roddy and a few other girls and a few of his homeboys rode with them. And then, you know, it was me in the car, you know, with the rest of my friends. So we all riding, and I'm telling y'all, I'm just in the back seat. All the windows was down, and it was like 2 boys on the trunk of our car, like hanging on the trunk of our car. Y'all, I don't know where we thought this was. I don't know what we thought this was, GTA or something, but we was really like, we them folks. Like, y'all not gonna play with us. And I'm small. I'm the smallest in the car, so I'm sitting by the door. Like, I'm sitting by the door, and it's real crammed up. We packed in there like sardines type junk. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, I'm still kind of overthinking. I'm like, dang, I'm gonna have to fight. At this point, it's not really doubting myself. It's just like accepting the fact that I might have to fight. Like, just pull that anger out of somewhere. Like, you done been mad before, you done got blackout type mad before, just use that and put it in your hands. I'm like, okay, cool, I got it. The ride was only like 5 minutes. Y'all, this stuff happened so fast. During this whole thing, my dad thinks that we're at my best friend's house, and my mom thinks we're at my dad's house. So no adult knew what was going on. So we get there. We didn't pull directly in front of the girl's house, which we don't know exactly whose house it was. We don't know if that was her friend's house or one of them that was in the gas station house. We didn't know. But we didn't pull directly in front of the house. It was like her house was directly at the end of the street. We kind of parked the 3 cars like on the side of the street. So this way get really crazy, and I hope I'm explaining it right. Everybody getting out the car. I think the people in the first car got out first. I'm getting out the car and I look to her house and I just see one girl standing in the door. So I'm like, okay, cool, it's one girl. Like it's on, like, I'm not gonna have to fight. It's just one girl. One of them gonna handle that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm telling y'all, at this point it's probably like 25 of us. Like, it's like a classroom deep of us. Like, we just all of us walking to this girl's house. So we get to her yard, right? And 2 girls come out the front door and was like, all right, so who fighting? As soon as they said that, Tree, which is the main fighter, and her best friend, they ran up. And then one of the other girls, they ran up. So they fighting the 2 girls. Then I don't know what type of voodoo magic shit these girls try to pull, but like 3 more girls came out the back of the house, like from the backyard. They came out the back of the house. So when they did that, one of our other friends ran up. They find a girl. At this point, I'm not standing next to Soleil. Soleil's standing over here. I'm standing next to my best friend. So when that happened, one of the girls that came out the back of the house, and it wasn't no time to none of this, like, it was like this, like, and it kind of caught us off guard because we only seen those 2 girls at first, and the rest of them came out the back of the house. I'm like, oh, y'all getting crazy. So when the rest of the girls came out of the house, my best friend ran up on one of the girls. So at this point, my best friend fighting, and y'all, when I say no time passed, like, my best friend started fighting the girl. Then they tried to jump my best friend. At this point, I'm still thinking I'm not really gonna have to fight. I don't know what Soleil doing. I think when the other girl, I think it was more than 3 of the girls came out, Soleil was fighting some girl. So back to me. So my best friend ran up and she doing a girl in. My best friend had a white like tube top on, and the girl she was fighting had a white shirt on. So she fighting, my best friend getting in there. I'm standing real close to my best friend, like, just making sure she good. Because all the other girls, they great. They doing their thing. They getting in there. They work. They good. All the boys around us hyping us up, whatever. So I'm standing next to my best friend. She fighting a girl. All of a sudden, which this is the girl that I ended up fighting. She had a green jacket and red braids, which I can see it in the thumbnail, which I'm gonna try to add the video in here if I can get people faces blurred out, because I don't want to put nobody's face in there. If I can get people faces blurred out correctly, I'm gonna put a little clip of the video in there. Nobody was recording the beginning half of the video, like when everybody initially ran up, but when I was fighting, somebody was recording. The girl come around the back of the girl and hit my best friend. So I'm like, y'all not, the thought that immediately popped in my head was, y'all not finna jump my best friend. So I swing on the girl, and at this point I don't even think she realized that it's somebody else fighting her. She just worried about jumping my best friend with her other friend. So I'm fighting there, and I think I accidentally hit my best friend, not gonna lie, because I'm trying to hit the girl in the white shirt, but my best friend had a tube top and it was both brown skin. So I was just hitting. So during all of that, the girl in the red braids and the green jacket, I guess she seen that, you know, I was trying to fight for my best friend because y'all not finna jump her. She hit me in my arm. She hit me like right here in my arm. And I'm like, oh, so it's somebody else trying to fight me. Like, it's somebody else trying to fight me. So I didn't know it was her. I actually thought it was another girl. So I'm like, okay, now y'all trying to 3-on-2 us. And that's not going to work. We're not going for that. So when she hit me in my arm, I turned to my, what's that, to my left? Yeah, I turned to my left, and she had kind of picked her head back up, because when she was fighting my best friend with the other girl, she kind of was like down. But she She completely screwed herself up this whole fight. Her head was down the whole time. She had a hoodie on. Just everything that you're not supposed to do in a fight, she was doing it. I'm not going to say it made it easier for me, but come on now. Why would you fight with a hoodie on? She hit me in my arm. I turned to my left and I hit her in her face. So at this point, we kind of break away from them. So now it's just me and her fighting. So y'all, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know if I was doing it correctly, but I know my hits was very much connected. I know my hits was connecting. I don't know if I had so much adrenaline, and I'm not saying she didn't hit me at all or none of her hits was connecting. I just didn't feel it in that moment, and I don't really remember it. I'm not saying that she wasn't hitting me, but I had a goal. It was to hit you, so I wasn't really focused on you. It was hit me, whatever. I do remember this hit though. I don't know if nobody recording. I don't know if she know me, because I don't know her. This whole time, I didn't look her in her face not once. I didn't, none of that. I was just doing her in. Like, I was just focusing on fighting this girl. Oh, I gotta get out there. I can't go out bad. I'm hitting her, I'm fighting her. I'm uppercutting her because she got a hoodie on. So, of course, I'm using that to my advantage. Like, why would you put a hoodie on? So, I'm uppercutting her. In the video, you can see that too. But we hadn't got to the street yet. We still kind of on the yard, kind of in the driveway fighting. So, I'm fighting her. And y'all, we was fighting for a good 5 minutes. At this point, I don't know what Soleil doing. I'm not really paying attention to that. I don't know what my best friend doing, and I don't know what the other girls are doing. All I could hear in the background is the boys like, oh yeah, yeah, blah, 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 just hyping us up. So I'm fighting the girl, and like midway through it, all of a sudden I'm getting so tired. Like, I'm getting so tired. I ain't stopped not once. I did not stop hitting her, but I was just getting so tired. I'm like, everything was moving in slow motion, and I was getting kind of frustrated, which it was making me mad, which obviously was a good thing. But I was like, I cannot be hitting this girl in slow motion. Like, I don't know what's going on, but I felt like I was hitting her in slow motion. So I'm like, dang, it was making me mad. Like, you know how when you in a dream or something, you fighting in a dream or you running in a dream, and it's kind of hard, like you don't really feel like you doing it? That's how I felt, and I was getting so mad. I was like, but looking back at the video, I actually wasn't hitting her in slow motion. I was actually doing, you know, pretty good. And at this point, I'm fighting her in the street. So we fighting, whatever. I'm fighting her. I hit her in her face like a good 5 times. She had a hoodie on, and she would not pick her head up. I remember one of her other friends, one of the girls that didn't fight, it was like 2 girls that were just standing there on their side, just not helping their friends at all. But I do remember them screaming at her, talking about, pick your head up, pick your head up. It was the funniest thing ever. I'm like, so they're gonna tell you to pick your head up, but they're not gonna come help you. Like, I don't really get that. I never really got there. I do remember her, I had on a shirt. She just was pulling my shirt, like pulling it forward like this. So I'm like, you're not doing anything. You can't fight and hold me at the same time. Like, you gotta throw some hits at some point. So at some point, she took her hand off, one of her hands off my shirt. And y'all, I had a bun. Like, that night I wore my hair in a bun, which I probably should have put the bun out and put my hair in like a back ponytail. But y'all, this whole time up until me actually fighting, I didn't think I would have to fight. She take one of her hands off my shirt and she grabbed my bun, and that just pissed me off. So y'all don't even understand. Like, I can't even tell y'all how mad I got at that point, because y'all know I don't play about my hair. My hair back then, like, I just didn't play about my hair. I just didn't care. Like, this before all, like, I used to wear wigs and stuff before the braids and stuff. So my hair was like everything to me. So, because I started hitting her in her face like this, because her head down. I got her hoodie at this point, the top of her hoodie, and I'm just uppercutting her face. In the video, you could see one of the guys. He's like, yeah. Out of the corner of my eye, I seen my best friend come around. Well, first I seen Soleil come around, and she started hitting the girl. Then I see my best friend come around, and she started hitting the girl. So at this point, not gonna lie, we was jumping the girl, and none of her friends was just standing there not helping her do nothing. So that's that. She pulled my hair, so she had my hair like this. Is right before my best friend came in the street, and the boy right here, he's talking about, yeah. Wasn't a long time. Me and her was fighting one-on-one for like, had to be about 5 to 7 minutes. Like, we was fighting for a while, where my best friend Soleil had you know, jumped in or whatever, and then we just kind of stopped. So as soon as we get done fighting, we hear the boys screaming like, let's go. The way they was screaming, it was like it was something about to go on. So I'm like, oh no. Like, so I get to running back to the cars. Oh my god, y'all thought I was tired when I was actually fighting a girl. On running back, I thought I was not going to make it. Like, I don't know what it was, but I feel like I was gonna pass. I was like, okay, everybody running again. I feel like I was running in slow motion. I thought I was not gonna make it back to that car. We get back to the house and we in Chain basement at this point, because his basement was like the hangout spot. We was always over there. So we get down there, and the first thing I did was I took my phone, and my boyfriend at the time was blowing me up, like blowing me up. So I called him, and I'm like, yeah, like, we just got to fight and blah blah blah. He's still mad because I'm not telling him like who the people was, but I kept telling him like I don't know who it was that I fought. Like, I don't know them. I don't know how this started. I was just fighting because of association. So I'm like, I'm good, I'm good. He asked me if I'm good. I'm like, yeah, I'm good, whatever. So we get off the phone. So everybody just sitting there just hyping each other up, like, yeah, we just did our thing. Chain dad still not home at this point. So we like, yeah, we did our thing, blah blah blah. Mind you, in the beginning of this, nobody thought that me and Slay was gonna fight at all. Like, nobody thought we was gonna fight, like, literally at all. So they like, oh yeah, and the twins, y'all did y'all thing. Like, I didn't think that y'all was gonna get out there. And I was just like, yeah, like, I didn't think I was gonna get out there either, but I did. Like, I didn't ask the girl's name. I didn't get in the live at all. I didn't know who I fought. I was just like, I fought you and that's it. There's nothing else to talk about. I'm not finna get on live, argue with you. I'm not finna do none of that. And another thing that made me mad that I didn't even realize at first is, y'all, I've had this bar piercing since I was like 13, turning 14. So it's been a while. So when I was fighting, I didn't realize it. At some point while I was fighting, one of the bar pieces to my piercing had came off. And during this time, the piercing wasn't new, but I had never really, you know, moved it in such a drastic way that, you know, the bar would come off. So it was just hurting, and I didn't even realize it at first, but when I settled down, I was like, dang, my ear hurting. So I touched it, and the bar piece, the top of the bar piece gone. So I'm like, dang. During this whole thing, my dad still think we at Bestie house. My mom think we at our dad's house. So I think we spent the night. We spent the night at Chain house. And that next morning, we went back to my dad's house. We basically told him, like, we got into a fight. Like, we got into a fight. He's talking about, what? What y'all mean y'all got into a fight? Like, what are y'all doing? Where was y'all at? So he was more concerned about our image than whatever. Story time on my perspective of our first fight. Hope you guys like this video. Bye.